Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today I'm here to tell you that PC gaming on a budget may never be the same. With the announcement of Ryzen 7000, it's been looking increasingly likely that getting into AMD's new ecosystem of processors and motherboards will be more costly than versus previous generations. And not only that, but it's also been looking increasingly likely that getting your hands on one of the latest flagship nvidia or AMD graphics cards set to release later this year will also cost a fortune upon release to obtain. And lastly, given current trends with the budget PC gaming market, it really looks like these hardware companies are only going to prioritize their highest end Halo units first and really just kind of put off the budget PC gaming market for the more affordable options kind of out of the spotlight, and maybe even years after the release of their top-of-the-line products. Are AMD, nvidia, and maybe even Intel going to leave behind the budget PC gaming market for good? Well, I'll go ahead and answer that question, as well as talk about some contributing factors that could lead to this potentially expensive future right after our sponsor, me. Okay, so unlike the topic of this video, I'm hosting a lot of hardware deals and custom gaming PCs ready to ship on my website, scattervolt.com/garage sale. I've got a whole slew of stuff there for sale. Just go ahead and check it out if you're interested at all. Free shipping on everything, as well as our other sponsor, VIP SCD Key. If you're looking to activate Windows 10 Home, Pro, or 11 on a brand new or existing gaming PC, look no farther than VIP SCD Key. They're the site that I went to activate the Windows 11 installation that I had on my $700 gaming PC build guide that I produced recently, and it only costed me $23 to purchase one of their keys, including my discount code VIP Scatter, and that was all activated on that PC within a matter of like about 2 minutes, so not that long. So if you want to check them out, I'll have a link to their website and my discount code at the top of the description. So in terms of the next generation of CPUs and motherboards, getting into the Ryzen 7000 or Intel Raptor Lake ecosystems will most likely cost more than ever before, and there's quite a few contributing factors that will probably head to this direction. First up, DDR5 pricing. Now, right now it has actually gone down a little bit in price, but on average, DDR5 modules cost still about 1.5 times the amount of a DDR4 module with the same memory capacity. Of course, the speeds and cache latencies will be different, but grabbing yourself a 16GB kit of DDR5 RAM is going to run you about $110 rather than say $60 with a DDR4 RAM kit. Also, PCI Gen 5.0 is here. It is a thing, and it's going to be now available on most of the new motherboards for the Ryzen 7000 series processors, and I believe the same will probably happen to Intel Raptor Lake. And for us PC gamers, as cool as PCI Gen 5.0 might be for storage, in terms of graphics processing, right now, the fastest gaming processors out there can't fully saturate the benefits of a PCI Gen 4.0 lane. So for PCI Gen 5.0, it really isn't going to serve us any good other than jacking up the price of the motherboards that they'll be supported on. And if that wasn't enough potentially expensive bad news, it looks like, according to this one Chinese e-tailer, of course, take their leak with a grain of salt, they've supposedly gone ahead and leaked the pricing that they'll list for the new Ryzen 7000 CPUs. And I actually somewhat believe the order of these CPUs in terms of what they'll launch, because it's very similar to the Ryzen 5000 launch. Here they list the 7950X, 7900X, 7800X, and the 7600X, all with their equivalent pricing they'll be listing them at, which if we compare those yuan to USD, and again, this isn't going to be an exact comparison, the pricing could be vastly different. Maybe the 7950X could cost as much as $950. The 7900X could cost as much as $650. The 7800X could cost as much as $500, and the 7600X could cost as much as $350. So what does this mean? Well, two things. One, AMD across the board is hiking up the prices, most likely of their new processors, and I think the new pricing maybe could make sense. I could see the 7600X being $50 more expensive than the 7600, and so on and so forth, with increases of 100 to 150 across the lineup. Other than that 7950X, if that really is $950, that is reaching extreme, what's the word? That is entering desktop enthusiast processor territory on a regular socket, which, I mean, I don't know where Threadripper is going to be if that 7950X is going to cost around $1,000. Also, there's no budget affordable CPUs to be seen, which is likely because from what we saw in the Ryzen 5000 launch, the 5600G and 5700G didn't release until a year after the original 5000 series launch. And finally, the more affordable 4100, 4600G, 5500, and 5600X didn't come out until a year and a half, actually a little more than a year and a half after the original Ryzen 5000 launch. So AMD finally came together and like, oh yeah, we've been missing out on this whole market share for affordable budget PC products for all this time. And they finally pushed out their sub $200 processors. Just unfortunately, it was too late because of Intel. And again, their new processors are going to be launching later this year, which is very un-AMD-like versus what they were, say, like when they were underdogs on the original Ryzen 1000, 2000, and even 3000 launch, where they had the 2200G, 3200G coming out the same day as their higher end chips, starting at $100. So hopefully those days aren't gone, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are. Now, I suspect a similar release pattern will probably happen to Intel with their new Raptor Lake CPUs. If we've seen from their history, it won't be long until they release their affordable i5s and i3s, maybe about a month or two after they release, say, their top-of-the-line 13900K, which is good to see. So we will probably get a 13400 and 13100F shortly after the release of their new Halo chips. So that is one thing going for Intel that really should be in AMD's favor. So it's like they're swapping places right now. But I haven't even gotten onto graphics cards. If the graphics card shortage have taught AMD, nvidia, and possibly Intel anything, it's that once again, PC gamers are going to fork up a huge premium just to get their hands on graphics cards. And I don't think that's going to stop AMD or nvidia from really hiking up the prices of these new graphics cards upon release. Now, I talk more about this in my latest video where I talk about why building a gaming PC right now is a really good idea. But to kind of skip to the main point, the current budget offerings for graphics cards, that being the 6500 XT and 3050 from nvidia and AMD, are very lackluster. They both came out a year and a half after the RTX 3000 and RX 6000 cards launched. And for one, the 6500 XT was already nerfed upon release, and the RTX 3050 started at $250, which was never going to happen because of scalpers and markups, which it's still hanging around $350 to today. So if you want to get the most affordable RTX 3000 card, that starts at $350 right now. So all in all, there's a lot of uncertainty for the future of PC gaming on a budget, especially when it comes to the new market. It again looks like these companies may not be prioritizing their more affordable solutions until way after their Halo cards come out. And even then, there's not a guarantee that they'll be good at all in the first place, which is a bit disheartening to think about, knowing where these companies once were. So if this video was a downer, I'm sorry. But one thing good you can do is click that subscribe button, because it'll at least make my day a little bit better. Because I am going to be moving out of this space in my house into the new space downstairs. So my videos are going to start to look drastically different. So if you're curious to see how that turns out, you might want to click that subscribe button and also the like button to help this video out in terms of exposure in the algorithm against all the other tech YouTubers. But hopefully this video was somewhat informative. And if you did enjoy it, then thank you for watching. And this is the ScatterVolt channel signing out.